If you sell on Etsy or even buy on Etsy, you may have noticed that there's been some significant changes around Etsy this week. It's definitely not out of the norm for Etsy to launch brand new changes without really announcements. And it's not uncommon for them to also disappear after running for a while because Etsy is running tests. So I'm about to share all of the new features and changes I've seen on Etsy this week and in the recent past that may stick or may not stick. And let me know in the comments below which ones you want to see absolutely go and which ones you want to see stay. These first one you may have noticed if you run ads. I am typically not someone who runs ads for my store, but if you are, there are some brand new changes, which I'm also going to test out to see if maybe this has made ads a bit more profitable for me. But what these are is now under your ads, you're going to see three things. Here we have listings, campaign, and orders. And going on to your campaign, you're going to see that there's this new spot called your ads strategy. And I'm going to click here. We're going to go to explore strategies. And we see that now we have this information that says will increase potential for orders and revenue and will aim to reduce costs and increase return on investment. Thing is, you do need to be running a budget of at least $25 a day to be running these different types of campaigns. So for this tutorial, let's turn on this and increase our budget to $25. And now we have this ads strategies unlocked. You can see here, now that it's unlocked, we have these three different options: increase your orders, balance your orders with return, or increase your return. Increase your orders is going to get you more orders, but with little care or little optimization towards how much you're actually spending on all of these orders. Your main goal is just orders. You're not really caring about the profit or the return on investment. We have balanced your orders with returns, which is my current strategy. So, what Etsy was currently optimizing towards before, which is optimizing bidding to balance your orders, your revenue, and return by targeting relevant buyers while managing costs. So it's trying to kind of give you sales, but making sure that you are still profitable with those sales. The third one, which is probably the one that I will try out, just because my previous past with ads has been they're not very profitable for me. Etsy doesn't know how much my cost of goods are in the back. So while my balance your orders with return may look profitable, when I factor in all my fees, I'm actually losing money quite a lot of the time. But with increase your return, it's going to aim to reduce costs and increase return on investment. But I might see less orders because I'm only trying to grab orders that are actually going to make me have a higher return on investment or ROAS, which is return on ad spend. So for me, as someone who is not reliant on ads at all, I might try running this one moving forward. And if I get sales, great, they'll be profitable. But again, my store is highly organic. I do not need ads, have never relied on ads in my store. So this might just be a little boost and worth keeping on if they actually are profitable compared to how Etsy was running them before. But if your whole goal is just build your store, you want sales, you are investing in your store, you don't actually really care if you are profitable or not for your first sales or for your ads, you're just trying to get up some data in your store, perhaps trying to increase your orders is a better early on strategy for your store. And then if you have a store that's already been running for a while and you've already been reliant on ads, probably just keeping your balance, the second one, balance your orders with return, is the best thing to just keep running with. Another change I noticed lately, I don't know how long this one's been going on. I had some students who say it applied to their store earlier than it did mine. Unfortunately, with me being in Canada, sometimes I get the updates a little bit late. But for those who haven't noticed, ads are now sprinkled throughout the search page. Before, all ads were usually in the top two rows of searches. But if we scroll down now, we actually see many different listings here that are not an ad. And you can typically see because it says buy, and if you see the name of the store, then it's not an ad. But scrolling down, let's see if we can find some ads in here. Here we go. Here is one. And we actually see now it says ad by store name. Before we actually didn't even see the store name when something was an ad. It was a little bit more obvious if things were ads. And again, they used to be the top of the store here versus now they're sprinkled in the search results and they look a lot more organic than they used to. You may also notice on this page that we have a brand new thumbnail size. I dislike the changing thumbnail sizes so much. For a while, we had squares, then we had more of a horizontal photo, and now you can see that these are actually slightly more portrait size than they've ever been, making these look a lot more stretched out. And unfortunately, a lot more people are going to have to go back and consider their sizing, especially if they have print or they have like text information on their cards. Like this one, for example, you can see here that actually their text is now cut off with this new size. We have this outline one here. Unfortunately, because now we have a new size, their actual print is cut off in their main thumbnail photo. This is something I hope does not stick because for me, even I'm gonna have to go back through all of my listings. I have always accounted for both a square photo and for both the more horizontal frame thumbnail because Etsy did switch between these. But this new portrait size one is brand new to what I've seen. And unfortunately, it is going to cause a lot of issues for people. And on the homepage now, you're also able to see how many colors a listing has, or if they don't have another color. You can see directly underneath, if you zoom in, you see a color swatch here with a +4, +17. So you don't have to put on your photos anymore, comes in more colors because Etsy is going to show that to your customers automatically. Next, we have some massive updates to our homepage. If we take a look at our homepage here, we are now seeing a very different header to what we previously saw. Before we had our photo, we had our name from our actual Etsy store, but now we have this contact and follow button that has replaced our personal information at the top. We're also seeing some major differences to how our shop displays at the top. And we have things like our star rating, and we actually have a like number rating. It used to just show the stars, but now we can see like 4.98, 5. We can see our amount of sales, and we can also see how many years a store has been on Etsy. Some other things you might have noticed are missing. Star seller status. Another huge thing missing at the top here is our announcement bar. I used to put all my shipping deadlines in the announcement bar. Anything that was highly important to my store to announce a sale, something that would entice people to purchase from me or give it more personalization to my store. I feel like this new layout is just taking out the local seller. Before we used to have our photo, we used to have what we did well, we used to have our announcement, versus now there's nowhere to really stick out except for your banner here. And the new announcement is actually underneath all of your listings on top of your reviews. And it's very small and very hard for people to find. I also think this is new, but again, some of these, if these existed for a while, my bad, but things that I'm noticing this week. And now on your store, before there used to be a sort by, and people would come into your store and they would see a custom sorted version of your store. But there's a new filter here where people can actually filter all of your listings by price. So if they only wanted to buy things that are in a certain range, if I don't have that, things aren't going to show up. So not a huge fan of this. Usually stores sell within the same category of each other. And now this is just a new way to filter out things. This was just an example. This is my sample store, so ignore this one. But for my store, this one is a digital download store. So everything is under 10 USD. So not a huge fan of this filter. The next big changes are on the product page. Again, this FAQ one, I'm pretty sure wasn't there before, but given that we didn't actually have an update stating what was new and what was not, I'm second guessing everything. But one thing that I feel wasn't there before was having your FAQs on your product page. It was always on the bottom of your shop page, but now all of your FAQ questions are also going to be answered under each product page, along with your meet the sellers, which I do believe was there before. But something that is definitely new is the box right here, which is underneath your listings. And this is information about your store and lists other products in your store that are related to the products that they have opened. So you can see my name here. You can have the message seller, how long I've been on Etsy, where I'm from, how many sales. And I actually love that this has been added because now it pushes our competitors lower on our page. Etsy has always had this you may also like, which would send traffic to competitors, which is not my favorite thing about Etsy, but this seems to be a thing that happens on marketplaces like Amazon. But at least it is lower in the page now because of this box here. And then finally, at the top of this screen here, when you're actually searching for products, we have a bunch of new easy to click filters that actually seem to update based on what you're currently searching for. So for mama shirt, I can add a filter to only see things under US $30. I can take a look and filter things by embroidered. I even have a drop down so I can filter by occasion. If I look up something like embroidered sweatshirt, the filters actually change. And now I have a US under 50. I have the star seller. I can add a filter for custom text. I can add a filter for name on sleeves, matching family, embroidery style, sweatshirt style, including different holidays or different seasons as well. So, because these are added, even though this was super important before, now more than ever, it's important to make sure that you're filling out all of the relevant attributes that you're able to fill out when setting up your listing. So, with this, people are probably going to likely be filtering a lot more than before. Before, the filter was a pretty small button at the side here with some options, but now with these presets, and it seems to be AI generated based on the search results that come up. Just make sure your Etsy listing is complete. Etsy needs to know as much information about your product so that they can filter it correctly. Let me know if you've noticed any other changes in Etsy this week or in the last little bit that's affected your store. And let me know which of these new updates you want to see stay and the ones that you are really hoping disappear, especially before Q4 this year. I know there are quite a bit here that I am really hoping are not a permanent change. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next week.